not the news we wanted to hear. Not the news we wanted to hear today. Of all days, one of our dynamic duo in the midfield are solid central midfielders, Declan Rice and Thomas Souček. We've been going all season and it's all been going okay. I'd done the preview the other night with Matt for the Wolves game tonight, and we literally believed that we'd came back unscathed. We knew that there was a couple of knocks. We knew there was a couple of players bruised. We didn't think it would be to this level. We did not believe it would be to this level. And what we're led to believe, unfortunately for us, is that man, Declan Rice, has picked up an injury. Welcome back to West Ham United for your West Ham Daily. And it's tough not to be deflated. However, I'm going to try and remain positive as I possibly can. I will be going through some comments as well. I'll jump in quickly and see what everyone is saying just now before I get started on it. So let's have a look here and see who's in there. Arjun Grewell. So there goes our top four hopes. Well, just bear with me for a second, Arjun. I'm gonna cover a couple of things in this show. Paul H, probably a stipulation of the sale. I don't know. It's quite harsh, really, isn't it? Afternoon Stew 77. Hope you're well. Hi, Jake. Thank you for joining us. Cheers. Russ, thanks for passing on the torch. I know you've done your show. In Moyes, we trust. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Stew 77. Hey, Jake. You're all talking to each other. Stel is saying, I wish that story wasn't true, but alas, here we go. We can still roll Wolves 3-1, and I'll ask you for your predictions. Actually, just get your predictions in. Remember, we are a team and not a one-man squad. We can do this. Stu 77, love that positivity. Absolutely. Let's see what everyone else is saying, and it's live. It is, mate. It is. Benny C, I feel physically sick now. Yes, I do, mate. I absolutely do. Declan Rice, we're going to miss this machine in midfield. I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough not to be negative, but we'll try our best and see what is happening. However, I tell you what, is this a hip hop show? No, it's not. It's really not. It's me just not wanting to show you my hair because I'm trying to grow it out and I'm just trying to hide it, to be honest. And yeah, it's not, mate. But I'll give you a rap if you want. Where's Peach when you need him? Loads of comments in there, but let me get started on the show for you. So West Ham, of course, and Declan Rice are sweating on a knee injury that he is desperately hoping will not end his West Ham season or put his European Championship hopes at risk. West Ham manager David Moyes, of course, and England manager Gareth Southgate, and probably not just West Ham fans, but the whole nation are waiting nervously on news on Rice's injury, with everyone praying for good news. Rice suffered a knee injury while on international duty in the last of England's 3 World Cup qualifiers against Poland and will miss Monday night's game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is obviously tonight's game. But what we do understand so far is that Declan Rice is wearing a protective brace to make sure he does no more damage while he and West Ham wait for the swelling to go down and the results of the scans. Let me just remind you that Stel kind of subtly broke the news to everyone last night. It was the news we didn't really want to hear. Still done on his West Ham Weekly show that Rice is looking like he's got an injury. We had heard the news, and we've got to be really careful what you put out. You don't want to be... It's not about, it's not our information, it's other people's information that we've been given. So we just want to be kind of reasonably careful what we give to the fans, and also like taking a responsibility to give you the right news as well. So fair play. I think Still managed that really well last night on his weekly show. But like I said, the initial fear is that Rice could miss up to 4 to 6 weeks, which could mean that he could still play a part of the West Ham run-in and be part of Southgate's European Championships this summer. But the worst case scenario, which isn't good, is we'd probably see Rice miss the rest of the season and also undergo surgery, which would almost certainly rule him out of the Euros, which could see him miss up to 3 or 4 months. That is a huge concern to Moyes and Southgate, as Rice, who has been one of the Premier League's top performers this season, not just this season, every season, is central to both of their plans for West Ham and England. He's understood to have hurt his knee around the hour mark during the Poland game, but played on And then, of course, he was rewarded with the man of the match performance. So I don't know what to think of that. Like, I wonder if he was injured, what was he thinking behind that? Staying on the park. I don't know. I mean, listen, Moyes desperately wants to have Rice available as West Ham attempt to keep our push for Europe during the run-in, and he'll have to do it without Rice, unfortunately. But we'll see how long it's going to be. So, what does this devastating news mean for West Ham? Where does it leave West Ham? We've got players there. I mean, get your comments in. We'll go through the comments in a second. And again, like I said, it's a West Ham Daily. We'll try and keep this show reasonably short. And a couple of comments is saying, and Happy Hammerette, they're saying it's so hard to remain positive. Of course it is so hard to remain positive. However, let's take a look at some of the players that can step into the position. And listen, I think we all know the main man himself, Mr. West Ham, Mark Noble, is kicking about the ranks with the potential that he will come in and take over his position. And I think it's inevitable, in my opinion, that he will step into the role. But I'm going to talk to you about a few other players. You've got Fornals, you've got Connor Coventry, you've got Thomas Souček, of course, who plays and will be playing, of course. And then you've got what everyone's talking about with Diop. So let's start on the whole kind of Mark Noble debate. You know, for me, I get it. I get why people don't really want him to start. I fully understand it. I am one of the advocates for Mark Noble, why I think he should be in and around the squad and should be used carefully every now and then when it's needed. And I think that we haven't saw Mark Noble this season play inside with one of those players, either Thomas Souček or Declan Rice. I know I was talking to the guys in the group chat earlier on how they were saying about potentially, we did see it last year and we were fighting a relegation battle, but it's questionable. Things have changed a lot at West Ham, and if Mark Noble can step in and actually just sit and protect and allow Souček to go and do what he does, maybe it's not going to be so bad. Because I know, and listen, I'm trying to justify it. I understand Declan Rice is world class. He is world class, and he's going to be such a massive loss to West Ham. But you know, we have to put the trust in Moyes, because Moyes would have known that he has such a reliability on these two players for the whole season. And if he really wanted to go and get the cover, I genuinely believe he would have got the cover, because he's shown that if he wants that player, 9 times out of 10, he will go and get that player, price pending. And it doesn't even matter. It's not got to be a 40 or 50 million pound player. But do we have enough in our ranks to cover that position? A player that I would like to potentially see come into that role could be Pablo Fornals. The reason why I'm going to say that is because of his defensive ability, is the amount of ground that he covers in games. I would like to see someone like Pablo Fornals maybe step back into the team and maybe support the central midfield and support Thomas Souček. And I think he's got the ability. I mean, look what Moyes has done to him. He's absolutely transformed him. You've got Connor Coventry, the youth player who's got a lot of plaudits in what he's been doing. But let's be honest, guys. I mean, realistically, are we going to see Connor Coventry step up to the equation? I absolutely doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think next season's probably going to be his season. And then, of course, let's talk about Thomas Souček, the main man in the midfield. This is a time for Thomas Souček to step up to the plate and do what he needs to do and do what he's been doing. If you think about, you know, Thomas Souček performs week in and week out at international level and does really well. Now, I get people might question me and saying Mark Noble isn't at international standard. I get that, but Thomas Souček is doing it week in and week out at club level, international level, and it's now time for Thomas Souček to take control in that park. And I know he's a threat going forward. I understand he's a threat going forward, but if we need Thomas Souček to sit back, do we have enough forward-thinking players to do the job up top? Get your comments in and let me know your thoughts. I've seen people talk about Diop. And potentially bringing him into the central midfield role. It's not for me. It's really not for me, because you need to have a ball carrying player or the ability to find a pass. I think he's a good defender, but I just do not think he is going to be capable of doing that role. Get your comments in and let me know. I've got a guest coming on. Obviously, you'll know who it is, and we're just going to have a brief discussion before tonight's game and see what he thinks on the news today of Declan Rice being broken. We'll go through some of the comments. Look, obviously you've been listening to me, mate. Devastated by that news today?
Oh, I'm gutted, devastated, heartbroken. You name it. I'm that. I'm trying not to be too down about it as the news comes in, but it's the thing that we all feared is that one of the two would get injured, and it's obviously it's a bolt out of the blue. I think we've all been worried when these players have gone international duty they would get injured, and it's kind of the one player who's been doing the most. I mean, he's got 2 man of the match awards. You know, he's been doing the bits for England and stuff like that. So he's just gutting. He's just gutting. Yeah.
Well, there's a question. There's a question there. I mean, everyone's going to be talking here about what we can do moving forward for the season if he is going to be missing for up to 4 to 6 weeks. Forwards from Iron, I think that's Gatesy there probably. Anton, how about Sufal, a central defensive midfielder, and either Fredericks or Johnson at right back? But I'll put this one to you. But do we have enough players in cover for that role? Listen, we know they're not going to be up to the standard of what Declan Rice and Souček have got. However, do you believe Noble can step into that position and just do that? Because it's not that I'm trying to justify him, but I know me, you, and Richard had a chat a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were always talking about Mark Noble coming into the team when Declan Rice and Souček were playing. But this is an occasion where now we've lost one, Declan Rice, and Mark Noble's got to come in and do the job he's designed to do. What do you think on Mark Noble?
Well, that's the funny thing. I've just put into the group chat that the mentality, I think, has to change now a little bit. And if Noble does play, I'm gonna get behind him 100%. Isn't it? I've put him through. I've slagged him off before. I'll hold my hands up. I'm as guilty as anyone. But there comes a point where you just got to go, look, he's playing. You've got to back him up. You've got to do it. And the thing is, I think now we're at a position where the worst thing we can do is harp on and be depressed about this and just go mope about. We've now got to look at this as an opportunity. So we've got players in the midfield like Fornals. Lingard has played for centre midfield as well for Man United in the past. I know that. But also sort of opportunity for someone like Conor Coventry to finally get his opportunity to come through and have a chance. And look, I don't understand. I don't really understand why people are coming from with Diop. I'm not slagging it off. If it works out, it works out. And the one thing I would say on that, I've seen Diop carry the ball through midfield and make these runs that he makes. And the only thing I would say to say that it could work is the fact that Rice was a centre-back who's now been converted to a midfielder. And as we all know, Diop's not exactly the most steady centre-back out of all our options we've got. So possibly it would be, the wild card move that could work. It probably wouldn't work down with Stan's luck, but you never know.
Can you put that comment back up? I don't know who. I think it's Stel's doing that comment, the one beforehand. If you can get the chance, if you're listening, I think look how we said we would miss Antonio, Oggy, Masuaku when they were injured, but we got through it. And this is the thing about West Ham this season is, and I know you're probably thinking kind of similar to me. Look, again, devastating news. It's crap news. We don't want to hear it. But the game's, I'm already feeling like we've been defeated tonight, and the game's not even fucking started. And we have a squad of players, right? We've got. I'm hearing also that Lanzini's out as well, but let's not worry about that. We've got Fornals that's capable of stepping into the position if need be. We've got Noble, of course, capable of stepping into that position if need be. We've got enough of an attacking threat. Look, in that team, if you include Lingard, Antonio, Bowen, Benrahma, then all you need to do is make sure you bring one player in who's capable of performing to, what could you say, 80% of the standard of Declan Rice. As long as you've got a Thomas Souček performing at 120%, taking on the extra 20%. Because I've seen there's so many comments in here, people saying it's like there's going to have to be massive changes. Like we have to bring a player out of nowhere and put them in midfield. We don't, and Moyes will not do that. Moyes won't put Diop in there. Moyes won't put Sufal in there. I would be baffled if he does any of that.
Well, yeah, I would and I wouldn't. I kind of know where people are coming from. For example, when he tactically put Fredericks right wing against Villa and it works, stuff like that. But it's quite funny. I think you're probably the best person to do a video like this because you're positive. You're someone. You're a fan who tries to find the positive in everything rather than harp down on the negatives. And in a way, that's quite refreshing. To be fair, and maybe that's what we need to do. Look, I've been waiting for this. As
we all have.
It's one of them things where we've been so lucky with injuries this season. Normally, when we get like, I don't know, 2 players at most to go away from international duty, we'd have about 4 or 5 over the last 2-3 weeks. So the fact that he's the worst person to get injured is probably Rice, because he does for me, he does the most work out of anyone, apart from maybe Antonio and Suchek, that goes unlooked at. But for me, you've got to look at it now thinking, well, Masuaka's coming back. That changes things. So now we can go to a back five, etc. It's just all little things are coming out now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So things come out now.
That's the thing now. Like you've just mentioned there, the fact that you've got Masuaku back, and that could really change the dynamics of the team, and it could give. Listen, we don't want Declan Rice to be injured. We don't want Thomas Suchek to be injured. You don't want your best players to be injured. But if they get injured, you're going to have to move. I mean, I've seen. This is why I stay away from places like Twitter. I've seen the kind of.
It's not all bad, though. It's not all bad. Twitter.
No, I know, but you know what I mean. You know.
Yeah,
what
I know. I know you're getting it.
And this is not going to be a bored out thing. I am a bored out fat guy. However, this is not the blame on the board. This is the blame if we currently there is no blame, because currently we think we need cover. Moyes currently says we don't. Stills put up a comment there saying that we've got a young player in the ranks called Apaya Forsan, I think he is.
Yep.
He's supposed to be very similar to the Kante style midfielder. We've got Connor Coventry, we've got Fornals, we've got Noble, we've got players that can step in there. They're not the ideal one. They're not your number one, but we're gonna have to react to this, look, and we're gonna have to turn up on the day. And I get what you're saying about me trying to see the positives, but it's about how can I say the season's over when the game's not taking place yet?
No,
I feel like it. I feel it's crap. It's crap that he's gone. But we have, as people are saying there, we've got, oh God, I don't want to say that, but I won't say that out loud. But people are in the comments saying, like, that's the season over, European charge is over. Well, we don't know. We've still got quality players in there, and it's still within our hands.
It's funny because you were saying that Rice got injured during an England game, and did he feel it, and why did he not say more to Southgate, etc. Possibly adrenaline's just carried him through. He knows he's done something, but he doesn't know how bad it is. And obviously, once you cool down a little bit, injuries happen and stuff like that. But you're right in the fact that I think everyone's kind of been on this thing where we're surprised where we are in the league. There's no doubt about that. The majority of the fans are going, but we're even chasing top four. From going relegation last season to fighting for top four. It's a massive, it's a culture shock for us. I think we've been waiting, going, something's going to go wrong, something's going wrong, something's going wrong, and it has now. And as much as Rice is going to go, for me, we've got players. I think there was a comment even in the comments we're reading now, is that the spirit of the team is so much so that if someone's injured, so what? We'll deal with it. We'll cope with it.
You make a valid point there about the spirit in the team. There is going to be spirit in the team. They're all going to be devastated that one of their favourite players he kind of is he's a funny guy, he has a laugh and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be interesting. He's still going to be in there and around the squad, and he's going to be driving the team on, to do this. The thing is, I've seen the comment beforehand where someone's saying, should we put Fredericks in midfield? That's not going to resolve the issue that we're going to lack in not having Declan Rice available either. Putting Fredericks in the midfield is fine because it offers us pace on the right hand side, but it's still not going to offer us the solution in the middle of the park, and that's going to be. Mark Thorne's saying there again, free kicks terrible on the ball. Fredericks is terrible on the ball, terrible passing. Should we jump through some of the comments, Luke?
Yeah, why not? Go on.
I know there's getting chucked up here. Let's have a look.
Always loads in there.
There is.
Always far too many to get approved.
Toby Sampson, there's been 3 or 4 times the fans have written Noble off, and every time he's come into the best form of his life, he can do it again. Come on, you Irons. We're not a one-man team. And listen, I'm not writing him off yet. I'm sorry, I'm not writing him off. I'm not writing him off because I think that if he can turn up and do 2 or 3 games in a row, or if it's Fornals that steps into that role and Noble has to come on at the end, this could be different because we're not seeing the 3 of them together. We're not seeing Rice, Suchek and Noble together. And when we see the 3 of them together, Luke, we tend to see Noble go into a forward role, into a central attacking midfielder role. And that's not really good. That slows, because he is a little bit slower, that slows down West Ham's attack. But if you're asking Noble to come in and just do that job, defend like you've never defended before, is he capable of stepping up?
The more I think about it, right, Noble, for more or less for his career at West Ham for a certain amount of years, has been asked to do so much as a West Ham player, to carry the team in a way so much that asking him to do any other role is almost like a huge culture shock for him. So when you're asking someone for to come on as an impact sub, which he's never been like that in his career. At West Ham, he's always been Mr. West Ham, the one who has to be. Mark Noble has to start. He's, for us, statistically, we've won more games than we haven't when he's been in the team. He's missed a penalty, man. So when we had a penalty against, you know, certain teams, and Rice and Lingard are going, well, I'm taking it. No, Noble has been the man to take every penalty throughout the years. So for him, you after so many years, and the man who comes to the end of his career, to ask for him to come on in segments towards the end of the game to try and do a job he's never really done before, just cover the back four and don't worry about it so much, not much pressure on you. He doesn't know what to do himself. He's thinking, how do I do this? You know, I've been so used to playing a role at West Ham for so many years. I now don't know how to do this. And maybe really what he needs to do is start games and have a continual games to get your match fitness up, because people realise when he played, I think against Everton, we lost 4-1 in the cup. He was in midfield with Snodgrass. Now Snodgrass doesn't really play centre midfield that often, you know, so to ask the both of them to do a job like that against a team like that in a situation like that is quite difficult. So maybe now this is a blessing in disguise, and yes, I am looking at the ultra positives rather than trying to be like, no, not Noble, not someone else. But it could be something that now Noble is going to be asked more of him than he has done in the last year and a half. It might be a good thing for him. He's probably one of them players who's become so used to having so much of a pressure on him. Not having that pressure is actually more detrimental to his game than anything else, you know. So it could be a blessing in disguise in many ways.
Yeah, there's so many comments. Look, I mean, we could go through them, and this show would turn
this is meant to be a short show, wouldn't it?
This would turn into a West Ham weekly with Stell for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Let's focus a little bit. Let's focus a little bit onto tonight. Let's ask you what you would do, and then what you think Moyes will do with the news that Rice is out.
First of all, I wouldn't personally stick Masuaku straight in the starting lineup. You know, someone's just come back from injury. You know, as well, he's not going to have Rice doing the work in the midfield, so his whole role could change as being a left wing back. We don't know yet how they're going to play it. If it was me, I would put Fornals centre midfield. That's just me. I'm talking about Noble in a way that I think he's going to play, so we've got to just get on with it. But I would play Fornals in the centre mid. I think it's because of his work ethic. People are saying that, you know, he's far better as an attacking centre midfield. He probably is, but we all know that he can do the hard work in the midfield, and probably he's the best person to put there alongside Souček. He doesn't tackle as well as Rice does, but I'll put in there. Then I'd put maybe Lingard attacking midfield, centrally, and then maybe Bowen on the right hand side. And you go for Benrahma on the left, but it gives us options now to try and maybe rotate and play players in positions they wouldn't normally. Benrahma could possibly be a really good attacking, you know, through the middle. We don't normally try him there. He's normally stuck out on the left wing, cutting inside. So for me, I'd try and keep it maybe as close to the teams we had before we hit the international break. I would rather see Fornals play in midfield, but I think he'll go with Noble in midfield personally.
Yeah. Be interesting. I really don't know, mate. I normally it's tough to give an opinion.
It's messed us up, innit?
But look, it's tough to even predict West Ham starting 11 with all our players fit, let alone and also the formation, because we could easily, as Stel's saying, I think he said it back up here. I know Luke's saying it. Moyes is going to 5 at the back, in my opinion. And I know Stel said he can see him West Ham reverting back to a back 5 for the rest of the season in order to support Noble, and I can see that, but I can also see West Ham going to a back 5 works as well as West Ham being in a back 4. As long as we've got that attacking threat, those players up top, I think we are still capable of turning up in the day. I mean, our fans literally telling me that Declan Rice. Listen, I need to be really careful how I say this comment. Look, I need to be careful because I think I feel like I could get misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say something. I feel like I'm about to say something along the lines of, "Does Declan Rice carry West Ham?"
No, but I know what you're going to. Yeah, okay.
But he is vital. Understand that. I'm trying to work it out. He's like the
hard point is. I know you're getting at. The hard thing is, we haven't really seen a West Ham for the last year and a half, maybe even 2 years, without Declan Rice. So. Yeah. It's not as if we've seen a couple of games where, you know, we put more or less our first team out and Rice hasn't played but someone else has, and we see the gap that he leaves when he doesn't play. But we kind of have 2 teams. If Rice doesn't play, it's normally in a cup game and Noble plays, and we have a completely different back 4. You know, we more or less change the team around. But Premier League wise, we don't actually know, you know, if he is absent, how much of it is tonight is going to be. It's going to show us. It's going to show us if he
yeah.
does, because if he might do. No one knows. Kante, when he was at Leicester, you know, a lot of people say that when Kante was at Leicester, he was the reason why they won the Premier League, because when he left,
Yeah.
you saw how much of a crevice that he left. So you might be right. I know what you're getting at. You weren't saying he carried him.
Moyes maybe has something up there. He maybe has something up his sleeve. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What we'll see tonight. I mean, this is a West Ham daily. It's probably the longest daily we've actually had since we've been doing them.
That's why we talk about that. You know what I mean?
But no, it's such a pivotal. It's such an important topic to talk about.
Yeah.
People are saying put David Martin in the position and give him a shot.
He's played everywhere. Yeah, why not? Puts out the cones, goes in the midfield. He might even play well. You never know.
Yeah. And there's a picture of the young lad that Stell's put up. The young lad in the youth team. But I mean, listen, I'm up for all giving the youth a shot and stuff, but I'm not too sure it will happen. Apaya forcing our future, and hopefully he is, mate. Hopefully he is. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for joining us. These are West Ham daily shows. We do bring you as much information as we possibly can in them. We try and engage with the chat. We have done, but there is like stupid amount of comments in there, and it becomes, I mean, the whole point of these shows was to be kind of short. But listen, tonight we'll be back.
We'll leave it for tonight.
Yeah. Look, you're joining us for Matchday Live tonight, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going, I believe we're going live at 7:00 tonight. We'll give you some team news, early team news. We'll then be, that's cool. We'll then do some no, I can't, mate, because I don't suit caps. This is the only physical way.
I thought I'm going to go for be yin and yang here. I'm going to go for a different colour in a different way.
So tonight, 7:00, we'll do a Matchday Live, and make sure you join us. And straight after it, we'll do the review as well. So fingers crossed, we can Moyes, in Moyes we trust, mate. In Moyes we trust. Yeah. Before you go, what's your predictions, Luke?
Oh, you asked me that now after saying that right minute. I was going to leave it till tonight. I'm going to go for 2-1 West Ham.
Right, okay, excellent. And I'll ask everyone in the chat.
Got to win.
We do go.
People, we got to win.
Yeah, I'll be going. What's your predictions? Get them in, and we'll go through them quickly before we go. I'll also join you in saying it's a 2-1 victory for West Ham. I still think we're capable of taking the game dramatically to Wolves and seeing what we can do there. Scott Randall is saying 1-1. Forged from Iron, same 1-1. Scott and Forged Gatesy, I'm assuming, are you saying that now with the news that's come in, or what was your prediction? So this is another question for you, and we're going to try and make this a short one. What was your prediction before you heard Rice was injured, and what's your prediction now that you know Rice is injured?
I guarantee you a lot of people have 4-0 West Ham. I guarantee you there's a lot of 4-0.
Jay has the same 3-1 West Ham. Jay Woods the same 3-1 West Ham. I don't know what that's going on there. George Mayer saying 4-2. Patrick Walsh 2-1. Stu 77 3-0. GP Desmond 2 each. Noble to score penalty from Scott Randall in the 93rd minute. David Trevitt, hope you're well, mate. 2-0. Oh my God, so many comments. I can't keep up. 3 Vassallo 3-1 West Ham. Frankie McCarthy is saying I would also do 4 at the back, 5 in midfield, Souček in centre of defensive midfield, Benrahma on left midfield, Bowen on right, Lingardinho and Fornals in central attacking midfield, and the beast up top. Yeah, I'll take that, mate. My prediction tonight from Zach Parker is he'll carry himself to sleep with a bottle of wine. Toby Sampson's 4-0. Cheer up, you bunch of this. West Ham win 2-0 from Loy. Luke Legend 2-0. They have players out as well, and they do. Martino was missing for them. Scott Randall, it was 3-1 before we went out. Michael D, 3-1 West Ham. So many comments. Look, anyway, listen, join us tonight. Join us tonight for the Matchday Live. Like I said, we'll be going live at 7:00, and hit the subscribe button, hit the leave a comment, and hit the thumbs up. That's tonight. He's Luke. I'm Anton.
What's that music? It's like a Western.